video. So today we're taking a look at the Fender Hammertone Delay Pedal. And on first look we can see this is very similar to the other pedals in the Hammertone series, same chassis and footprint, that kind of thing. Here we've got three controls. We've got level, time and feedback on the dials here with the Fender knobs on there. And then we've got these mini toggles for type and modulation. So this pedal has three different types of delay housed in here. We've got a digital delay in the top position, which it's in now. Middle position is an analog voiced. I think it's still a digital delay, but with an analog voicing and a slightly darker character. And then in the bottom position, we've got another analog voice delay with a little bit more mid-range present. So I'll take us through each of the parameters of each control now. So the first thing we'll take a look at is the level control. As we would expect, this is how loud our wet signal is. So all the way off is going to be our dry signal. Just for reference, actually, our dry signal is the Victor V40 into the Captor X into Logic. So that's our dry signal there without any delay in. And then as we increase that, we're going to hear more of the wet signal being dialed in. And when that's all the way on 10, that gives us a unity gain between our wet and dry signal. Basically means the first repeat is going to be as loud as whatever you played, as is the case there, and then it'll tail out in accordance with how you have the rest of the controls set. So moving up to time then, this is as we would expect the time of the delay, the time between the repeats and between what we play and then hearing it again. So turning that all the way down to 1, you're going to get a very kind of early reflection sound. And then as we increase that time, we're going to get something a little bit longer. I would say around 3 or 4 is probably going to give us slapback kind of sounds. Wrong guitar for country, but you get the idea. If I then turn this up to 6 or 7, a little bit longer, for the tempo I was playing now, I guess that's giving us dotted 8s, like an edge kind of thing. And then when maxed out, this is going to give us a second of delay time. And again, that'll fade out depending on where you have the level and feedback set. So I'm going to keep that around 6 or 7 for now, and we'll move on to feedback. So feedback is basically how long it takes for the delay tail to trail out, basically. So on 1, we're just going to get 1 repeat. It's not necessarily the case that whatever number you've got the feedback dial set to, it's that many repeats. It's more an indication of where you have this particular control set. So on halfway, got a longer tail there. And I'm going to turn the level down actually while I demonstrate this next part. You'll see why in a minute. If we turn the feedback all the way up, so beyond 8 or 9, we get the feedback or the repeats start to increase in volume, so we get like a cascading, almost like distortion, which we can then manipulate with the time controls, and so on. So if I play a power chord now, and turn that feedback up, the level low for this. Okay, if I turn the time down, and so on. So if you want to make space gun noises or motorbike noises, that's how you would do that with this particular pedal. We'll set everything back to 5 for now. I'll just bring the level up a little bit higher again so we can just hear the characteristic there. So now moving on to our type, this is the type of delay that we're hearing. As I said, what we've heard so far is in the top position, that's all been the digital delay, and that's going to give you a very kind of pristine replica of what it is you played. Just turn the time up there a little bit. The digital delay is also going to be good if you're playing edgy type things. Edge the player, not the style of playing, I guess. Or if you want to do the kind of harmonizing with yourself type playing. Going to give you a very hi-fi replication of what we played, as I said. Middle position, this is my favourite, and this is the analog. It's a little bit darker, and the reason I like it being darker is that it keeps out of the way of whatever it is we're playing a little bit more. And actually, if you play softer as well, it almost has like a reverb type quality to it. So that's my personal favourite setting on this pedal. If we move on to the analog style delay that has more mid-range to it now, we're probably actually going to perceive a little bit more volume out of this setting, as it's got a mid-range enhancement, which is obviously where the guitar sits naturally. So if I play something on here now, you can hear it's maybe getting in the way a little bit more of, I mean, I do have the level maxed out at the moment, but maybe getting in the way a little bit more of what it is that we're playing, and so maybe back it down a little bit if I was using that setting. Where I think this is really good though, if you're doing volume swells, it means that you can still maintain a lot of mid kind of body to the swell, particularly if you're playing live and you need that presence to cut through a band mix. So that's the different types we've got there. I'm going to toggle back up to digital for the time being while I demonstrate the mod. So moving on to modulation now then, this is basically adding modulation to our delay as we would expect. There are actually two internal trim pots controlling the depth and rate of our modulation inside the pedal. It's very easy to get into. You can either take the back off with a flathead screwdriver or a coin, or probably even a thick pick would do the trick, to be honest. I've kind of preset these to a slightly more subtle kind of chorusing effect. That would be my kind of personal preference, but I am going to show a couple of clips in a minute where I'll demonstrate the parameters of each of those controls. So just to show how it's set at the moment, without, and if I kick it on, so I've got it set fairly subtle there, as I say, but what I'm going to do now, I've put together a bunch of different back-to-back clips where I played the same thing and tweaked the depth and rate on the inside. I'll bring up the settings on screen so we know what's going on there, and we can hear the scope of the modulation effect there. So is the Fender Hammertone Delay Pedal. As ever, if you do have any questions, do drop them in the comment section. I have done demos on the reverb and the drive from the Hammertone series as well, so I'll put the links to them in the description box if anyone was interested in checking those out. But other than that, as always, thank you very much for watching. If you did enjoy the video, please do consider subscribing if you've not already done so, and please do click that like button. It does really help out the performance of these videos. But as ever, thank you very much, take care, and I'll see you in the next video.